Yeah.
What is going on, everyone? It's LFC Transfer Room here, and today is the Premier League room. This is where we take a little bit of a step away from Liverpool, or zoom into Louis' face, it seems, and talk about things going on in the Premier League, look at the games that are coming up, make some predictions, make some silly predictions, and then get the fun made out of us for the rest of the week for saying that Arsenal are going to win 6-0 against Man United. We're going to start today because the Messiah is here. Ten Hag, as it's being reported by the media, is going to come in and change Man United's fortunes because he is a world-beater manager who has unbelievably won 2 Dutch leagues, Louis. Is Ten Hag the solution that everyone is putting him out to be?
I don't think anyone can give... I don't think anyone can be 100% sure in their answer, as with any manager. But, the state that Man United have worked themselves into over the last 10 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left, it's hard to believe that one man can undo all of that overnight. I mean, I said it on a previous stream. I think with Ten Hag, it really depends on how much time they give him. I think the longer the better, especially if they do over time give him more and more control, especially regarding transfers and coaching staff. Has it been announced yet whether he's going to be able to bring all of his own coaches in, or are the likes of Fletcher and all of that lot still going to be in place?
The negotiating with one. There's talk of Steve McLaren coming back because he worked with them at Bayern Munich, I think.
Sorry.
But his personal accolades, he's won the Ruiz Michaels Coach of the Year Award 2016 and 2019. Don't know what that is. And he was 4th in the FIFA's Best Men's Coach. These are accolades that people are saying stand up to Klopp coming to Liverpool and Guardiola coming to Man City. It's laughable, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
It's not he's a bad coach. It's just not,
not
there yet.
Man United have gone through the whole shebang. They've had the prophet in David Moyes. They've had the old-time tactician in Van Gaal. They've had the born winner in Mourinho, and they've had the club legend in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And they've gone for this. They've basically thought, I've run out of options. I'll go for a director of football with Ralph Rangnick. So I think he's probably the best they could have got. I think it's the right appointment for them. That still doesn't mean he'll be a success. They are so far off anything that a managerial appointment isn't going to change anything. Like, it might take them, I think it'll take them at least half a decade to be challenging for a Premier League again. I think that's probably being generous, to be honest with you, because they are, I don't know, we all watched them the other day. But I've been to Anfield. That was my 94th game on Tuesday. And I have not seen a more abject performance from any team whenever, wherever. They were just awful. They were terrible. So, look, just because Ten Hag's come in doesn't mean they'll be a success, but I do think it's the right appointment for them, really.
And Damien, just to give you a word on this as well, there's talks that he's going to get £120 million budget, which is not really enough to do anything with, is it?
No, not straight away. No, it'll take a few years, at least 3 years. It's going to take to get his squad. But it depends how much power and what transfers he's allowed to get. Because if he just goes in and they say, here you go, use Declan Rice, here's Harry Kane, is not that kind of manager. And if Rangnick stays on, then I can't see that happening. I think he will get what he wants. They need to give him the money for the transfers that he needs for his style. Because if they don't do that, then it's just gonna come back again and haunt him again. It's just gonna be another Moyes, is going to be another Mourinho, and it's just Ten Hag. Well, I don't think he'll stand for it, if I'm honest. The other night, like Chris said, I've never seen a Man United team like that bad. The thing is with Man United as well, they haven't even got that bad of players. Their attitude is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. I'd be ashamed if that were my club and their attitude on that pitch. This Liverpool have had a worse team than Man United. That Man United now way worse players. And we've not given up like that in a game like that.
And at the start of the season, you look at all these pundits, the predictions. Everyone was saying United were going to finish above Liverpool. No one was saying anything. And then you listen to these same pundits now saying there's not a single Man United player I'd have over a Liverpool player, and it's the worst Man United-Liverpool rivalry we've seen for a decade. It's crazy what 6 months can do, isn't it, Louis?
Yeah, I think Damon's right. So much of that is just about those players and their mentality and the way that they're treating the club, I guess, or their thoughts on the club. Whatever we think, however much we dislike Manx and everything to do with that side of the world, ultimately they are a historically massive club with, you know, some sort of tradition, and it is embarrassing. It's almost gotten to the point where I feel a little bit sorry for them. Almost. Still quite a way. Still quite a way. Not for the players, mind you. Not for the players at all. I think they have behaved disgustingly. But as I was saying, yeah, this time in the reverse fixture, you looked at all of the pundits' predictions for combined 11s, and I think someone, I don't know if it was Gary Neville or someone else, had like 5 or 6 United players getting in. And this was 6 months ago. And now you'd struggle to find a single Man U player who really would get into a starting combined 11. And obviously, players haven't just fallen off that hard. Most of that is definitely just the way that they're carrying themselves, which is evident on the pitch. And even though they've given up on this season, surely that's got to be hurting some of their long-term prospects in terms of moves away, or
contracts,
if that's what they want to do. Contracts, exactly. It's very bizarre.
And moving towards the Premier League, please put your score predictions in the chat, as we always do. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the video. And massive big up to Jen for the £4.49 super sticker.
Hero.
Kris?
Jen is a hero.
I'm sorry,
Arsenal,
Jen. I'm still really sorry. We had a bit of a falling out. We had a falling out the other day. But I think we're all right now.
You've got to grovel.
Score predictions, Kris. Arsenal, Man U. How do you see the game going? Arteta's what, in his 1 year of this new project, these young managers coming through, and there's something there with Arsenal, but there's also a lot of Arsenal in Arsenal at the moment, isn't there? So how do you see this game going?
I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon, to be honest. Arteta's been there since just before lockdown, and I personally don't see where they've gone. Yes, they've got some great young players coming through. I just can't see it. They'll win 1 week, lose the next. They're not really going on a journey. I just think they're cruising. So, but I still think they'll beat United. That's how bad they are. So, I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Damon, is that how you see it going?
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be some sort of fight back from United to go, we're not that bad, we need these contracts and this big money freebie moves that we've got coming up?
If they can't get up for a Liverpool game, then they're not going to get up for an Arsenal game. As much as they say, oh, we're going to show you what we're capable of, and they just don't do it, do they? They haven't got it. They just don't have it mentally. They don't have a bounce back ability. They don't have anything. If Arsenal play anything like they did before the 3 defeats, and then I can only see an Arsenal win, to be honest. I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0 Arsenal. And I don't really see Lacazette staying next year, Louis. But Arsenal are lacking a main striker, aren't they? They're lacking someone to convert it. Although Nketiah had a really good game against Chelsea and caused them quite a lot of problems. So maybe some of these young players have got a strong future at Arsenal. Although wasn't there I didn't see this. Wasn't there something about Saka getting booed about a penalty or something? Anyway.
Do they advance talks with Jesus from Man City?
Yeah.
Jesus?
Yeah.
Jesus going to Arsenal, apparently.
Advance talks, yeah.
That'd be a very Arsenal player, I think.
Yeah.
Big wages, can just chill out and not do anything for the next 3 years. Louis, how do you see it going, Arsenal, Man U?
Yeah, on paper, given both teams' form, the fact is though that Arsenal have been very topsy-turvy, and that is the story of this this top 4 race, which I've been saying for a few weeks. The last 4 or 5 years have been just embarrassing for that 4th spot in the Premier League. Teams constantly bottling it and then picking up a win, getting themselves back into it. Even though United were so bad, and they've known for a while they're getting Ten Hag, I just think maybe they might get a little something out of the fact that he's definitely the manager now. Maybe some of those players might start to think, if I want a future here, I've got to perform. Arsenal, you just don't know who's going to turn up for them exactly. So I think this might have a Desmond Tutu written all over it. I'll go for 2-2.
It's what Kris is going for, isn't it?
No, I said 2-1 Arsenal. It's all good.
No, I mean a Desmond Tutu with your uni work.
Oh, yeah. I
2-1 first.
want a bit higher than that, James. I'm aiming high.
Aiming high. I'll tell you, well, let's move on to aiming high. Leicester, Aston Villa. Gerrard has been having an absolute stinker of a time. 4 losses on the bounce. They're now against Leicester. Brendan Rodgers, the potential Liverpool manager and the old Liverpool manager. Damon, again, it's not got a classic written all over it this game, has it?
They're weird teams, aren't they, both of them at the moment? I mean, they've both got some brilliant players. I mean, Villa's got some brilliant midfielders and a good up top, and same with Leicester. It's such a similar team, but it's hard to judge which way it's going to go, to be honest, because they're so alike and the managers play similar styles. But because Leicester at home, I do think they'll sneak it just, and Gerrard can't seem to get a grip of his team at the moment.
No, and it's the battle of the misfiring strikers, really, Kris. You know, Danny Ings is not doing well, Vardy's not doing well, and you know whoever they bring in just doesn't seem to get going. Is anyone going to get a goal in this? Is it just going to run out as a boring 0-0?
I can't see that, to be honest. Villa have got some outstanding individuals, but I just don't think Stevie's got them quite working as a team yet. At the same time, I think they have played well on occasions in the last couple of games. They just haven't really got a goal. I think over Arsenal, I thought they were far better than them in that defeat a couple of months ago. The last Villa game that I actually watched. They're both, as Damon said, they're both weird teams. I think it could be a high scorer, to be honest with you. I personally, I think, you know, they're both sort of labouring to nothing. So who knows what could happen?
Yeah, they're not fighting for anything now. It's a dead season for them. They're not fighting for Europe or anything like that. So, yeah, I guess anything could happen. But one team definitely fighting for something is the Norwich-Newcastle game, isn't it, Louis? The big high stakes of Norwich are pretty much already down and Newcastle are pretty much safe. No one can miss this epic that's coming up.
Yeah, we're getting to that point of the season, aren't we, where teams are just where they need to be. And unfortunately, Man City have got a lot of those teams still left to play, which doesn't sit too well for us. But yeah, I don't think it's going to... Well, you never know. It could turn out to just be a fun, high-scoring game, but I doubt it'll be anything to remember. Norwich, as you say, done and dusted. There's nothing they can do at this point. Burnley getting away from them, and Burnley themselves aren't even safe. So, no, I'm sure those players have checked out and already thinking about which team they might try and sneak themselves into next year, or just what all-inclusives they'll be going on in July, August time.
Do you think anyone is going to be in for Timu Pukki? Because, again, in the Premier League, he's got double figures in a team that is rather shocking.
His finish against United was just... You know, where he just put it on the inside, waited for De Gea to move and just slotted it in the inside of the post. He's a good Premier League striker. He'd be better for Newcastle than Chris Wood would.
He's basically like Mitrovic, isn't he, really?
Well, at least he could do it.
He'll go back down and get top goal scorer again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
true,
Mitrovic, but how many did Mitrovic get last year?
He's on 40 now. But he didn't
no, in the Prem, sorry.
He didn't get played, I don't think. It'd be great to see his appearances. Chris is on it. I can see by his eyes.
I'm on it, mate. I'm on it. Don't you worry.
He probably got about 2 or something like that. 2 or 3.
So last time Fulham were in the Premier League, he's got 3 goals. But the time before he got 11. But Pukki's got double figures both times.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Newcastle have to be wanting better than Pukki though. Now they've got the money and they've got a summer ahead of them. I just don't know. I don't know which team would go.
Burnley. Pukki
back down to the Championship though, or do you back Burnley to?
Burnley
he could join Everton in Championship if he wants.
It'd be good for a Villa, a Palace, just because he's a clinical finisher.
He'd be an option, wouldn't he? He'd be an option. I don't know how much Norwich would let him go for, but I just think the Premier League club's got to be looking at him, surely.
It suits the relegation team, doesn't it? Really, because those sort of goals keep you up normally, but Norwich just different level, aren't they?
Norwich a different level of shit.
Different level.
And that level is down.
Yeah.
But if I was an Italian team or a German team or something like that, I'd be looking at Team Pookie. That's an ice cream van, by the way.
I was like, whose ringtone is this?
That's how I lure the children. No.
The child catcher.
It was just driving past. If the police are now watching this, it was a joke. Yeah, I don't know. I think Pookie's got one of those. If I was a German team, Champions League, Rangers, Celtic, I'd be trying everything to get my hands on
He
him.
played for Celtic back in the day. Pookie.
I tell you what will be a good game, the Brentford Spurs game. As much as Spurs are fighting for something, Brentford have been on a good run. They've won 3 on the bounce. Spurs seem to have got it locked. You know, I think apart from the 1-0 loss to Brighton, they've won 4 on the bounce as well. So it could be actually a good game, this one, couldn't it, Damon?
In Burnley against Spurs this weekend, no?
No, it's Brentford against Spurs, 5:30.
Right.
Sky Sports. It's Burnley Wolves.
Burnley, it'll kick off on, I think, on Sunday. I think Burnley got Saturday at Spurs. Brentford Spurs. Brentford are playing well. They played. They backed Chelsea. They played well again the weekend, but Spurs are just on a trade at the moment, and Conte's got them playing. So I can't see anything but a Spurs win again because Conte's just doing his business into.
Yeah, a very efficient, he's got a team playing. He knows he's starting to build a culture, isn't he, Lou? You know, United pretty much passed the opportunity to go for him to do a full process, but he looks to have got something working at Spurs, doesn't he, Louis?
Yeah, it's quite a change up from those first few weeks, month or two, isn't it? You know, almost begging to be sacked. You wonder how much of that was, I don't know, genius managerial tactics, man management, who knows, or whether that was just a genuine outburst and things have actually just turned around on the fly. I don't know, but he definitely deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. I think the fact that it's at Brentford Stadium, you know, it has been a buzzing place to be. Thomas Frank, really, really fantastic job this year when after that bright start to the year, they started to go on a bit of a downcline quite quickly and people thought maybe they're not quite cut out for this league just yet. But they've come back firing once again and pretty much, well, they have secured their safety, haven't they? So I think although they've got nothing to fight for necessarily, this is a bit of a win-win scenario for them. I think they can absolutely go for it if they want to. And you know, again, maybe some of those players will be trying to prove themselves that they belong in the Prem. And, you know, since Eriksen's come in as well, he's been a massive coup for them. And I think Kris, you tweeted about them keeping Eriksen for next year and how big that could potentially be for them, didn't you?
Yeah, well, if they manage to, I think they could push for Europe if Eriksen stayed next season. I mean, they're in 12th now. If they win and Leicester lose, they go 9th. There's no question. I just think they've got a good side. If they keep Tony, I've seen another Newcastle. I linked with him, Ivan Toney, who has come very good this year. Yeah, and even without scoring goals, he still did quite a lot and did a lot for the side. I really like Jan Alt. I think he's a great midfield player. But yeah, I think I can see Brentford winning this, to be honest with you. It seems like the sort of game that Tottenham would lose. And no one seems to want that 4th place spot. So, and to be honest, boys, I want West Ham to have a lot to play for when they play Manchester City. And hopefully they can play for a Champions League spot in that way. But yeah, I think Brentford will nick it.
I was going to try and do some sort of pitch to say how Watford are still in the fight, but I just looked at the points. Watford are on 22 points. They're fighting to stay above Norwich on 21 points. The Watford-Man City game is at home for Man City. It's pretty much a formality, isn't it, Damon? We might as well just dream.
Well, City aren't playing well, and I've got a feeling they're going to slip up. I really have got a feeling they're going to slip up. We do need to win every game, I don't know if this is just hope rather than belief, but I've got a feeling they're going to slip up because they're not playing well at all. They didn't play well again against Brighton. I mean, they got the win in the second half, but the first half, they were just dodgy. And all it takes is one chance for another team and they scored. It could be just game over for City, and the pressure might get to them. Brighton just give them one shot all game. That's not good enough. They rolled over for them. So Watford fighting for something. At least they might try, unlike Brighton. So I still go for a City win though, but I still think City will drop. City can drop, but not in this fixture. No, not in this fixture.
We've got to be honest, Kris. City are probably looking at this game as an opportunity to claw back some of that goal difference because it's a 6-point goal difference. And if they do lose and we draw at some point, they're going to need that. It's like a half a point, isn't it? It's like away goals almost goal difference. So I think City are going into this looking to smash as many in as they can.
They score in the first 10 minutes, they'll go on and score 4 or 5. I'm very convinced of that. I'm convinced they will score in the first 10 minutes, to be honest. There is no hope for Watford. There is absolutely no hope. I'm always an advocate of saying everyone has a chance. Not now. There is no chance for Watford. And if they do it, that's fine. I mean, I don't know what I can do for a forfeit on stream, but if Watford get any points, I'm more than happy to do so. But yeah, nah. There is, I would say 0.01% chance for Watford to get anything out of this game.
Louis, what forfeit should we give Kris? I'm thinking we lose the goatee if Watford pull this off.
If we're going full Rafa, you need to get rid of the hair.
Oh, that's not happening. That's not happening.
He's got
Full Rafa. Full Rafa.
That won't happen because I think my girlfriend.
We don't have to worry about thinking about one because it just will not happen, will it?
My girlfriend will frustrate me.
What's the goal?
Minus 32 goal difference. I must stress.
Allison, 94th minute. Foster comes up, similar, smashes it in.
That on the vlog. Blimey.
You've got to keep it at 1-1 for 90 minutes against Man City.
In Dennis, we trust. It's the definition of hope, isn't it?
We are beyond delusional now, but we need to be. It's just such a throwback to a few seasons ago, isn't it? But the season before we won the league, it smells like it. It's starting to taste like it as well, and it feels like we are heading the same way.
We owe them, Louis.
Kris, we owe them, but people owe us, and they're not giving us anything against Man City.
Why is there not enough respect on the name Roy Hodgson? As an ex-Liverpool manager to come, will ignite to come through and deliver.
I thought it was a great appointment when they got him. I really did. But then I think even this team is too much for Roy.
Yeah.
I think
he's too old. He's too old. He looked bloody dreadful when he's come back. Bless him. He needs to be in a home or something. You can't be sat in a Premier League dugout that old. I'm sorry. Sorry,
with a crocheted blanket across his knees.
It's for his own good. Oh yeah.
For his own good. It's not like did you see the assist he pulled off in training back in the day?
I'm sure he did. He's halfway gone already.
The chat are slightly more optimistic that Watford could pull something, out of the bag against Man City, but all you can say is when the Premier League put it at 3:00 on a Saturday and have no television coverage, they believe it's a foregone conclusion before anything even happens.
And
yeah,
if
it'll be
last 6 minutes, let's move to Sunday. I want to finish with Liverpool Everton. But we'll do some quick score predictions. I'll give you one game each. Tell me what you think is going to happen and tell me what you think the score is going to be. Kris, we'll start with you. Brighton, Southampton.
I'll give you the score prediction. Then no one gives a shit. I was going to say
Brighton
1-0. 1-0 Brighton.
Have nothing to play for.
Lallana scoring. 1-0 Brighton.
Okay. Louis, Burnley Wolves.
God, you're giving us some crackers here, aren't you? Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the ones that actually mean something, though, to be fair.
Only to Burnley.
Yeah. Well, and to Wolves.
Yeah. I'll say
Wolves.
two.
They could get West Ham, actually, couldn't they?
2-1 to Wolves.
Come on, Louis.
How dare you? Go on. In the chat, what do you think? Burnley Wolves. I reckon Burnley can pull it off. And by the end of this weekend, we could see Everton in the relegation zone.
No, we need Burnley looking strong. Wolves looking strong. They're the team that I think can get something against City.
I don't know. I still want Burnley to nick it, though.
1-0 to Newcastle in the last match. And they lost to Leeds. And they beat Villa, and everyone's beating Villa. There we go. 1-0 Burnley. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Damon, Chelsea, West Ham. This is actually a game that's got a little bit to it for West Ham, trying to...
a bit of a feisty one.
Want the top four, do they?
No one wants top four. So West Ham, if West Ham has a chance of getting top four, then they need to get at least a point in this game because they're not going to get easy games every week. And Chelsea's an easy game at the moment.
They're just waiting it out, aren't they? What are they? 5 points clear of fourth place. Chelsea could actually drop into this, couldn't they, Kris?
The way they're going, there's no reason why not. But it seems like everyone chasing that fourth place is falling off a little bit. I'll tell you what, though, Chelsea defensively looked woeful the other night. So there's more than any chance for West Ham to get in and do it. But I think their minds are fully focused on Frankfurt in the Europa League.
I'm going 1-0, by the way. Chelsea.
1-0. It's a good prediction. Most people are going for draws in the chat, although Helios gone straight for a Chelsea 3-0. Because Bowen's not scoring any goals. There's very little noise on Bowen at the moment, is there, Kris? This Liverpool should sign him.
It's because Diaz signed, innit? We don't really need Bowen, do we?
Not Diaz. Really.
Fine, we've got the best front five in the world football. I don't think we need anyone there, to be fair.
Liverpool, Everton, Louis. Tell me Everton are going to be in the relegation zone at the end of Sunday.
Going off of my score prediction for the other game, no, there'll still be a point above it, unfortunately. But we have to do them, don't we? They tried it against Man City, didn't they? But Man City weren't at their best either that day, and we've just come off a fantastic performance. I think there's a good question as to whether we should play Thiago and certain other players because Everton, if they're going to go down fighting, they could look to break some legs in this game. So I don't know whether that does play into my mind, whether maybe we should try and rest Thiago or not. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me on that one.
I'd rest a lot more than just Thiago.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'd have Tsimikas playing. I'd change that midfield around a little bit. Front three you can play with and still easily smash them.
I won't play Thiago.
So, no, it's definitely...
Takes a tap for them down, so... Not worth it.
Do you really think with, all right, United didn't take the rivalry seriously. There was United players playing who just didn't get it. But Everton will at least try. And you've got to throw form out the window. So to some degree, this is one of our better games. We should play a better team.
But we've got a Champions League semi-final on Wednesday, James.
Huh?
Got a Champions League semi-final this week.
It's Villarreal.
Yeah, better than Everton.
Who played for Watford?
Yeah, so did Richarlison. Look, I think Everton. We just have to take it as a football match and just realise that Everton will try, but at least United have talent. Everton don't have any of that. We should. Our second string should destroy them. I'm sorry, and I do think we will. I think the way that Jurgen has treated derby games this season is different than he ever has done. He showed no respect to Man United. He showed no respect to Everton. Showed no respect to Man City, even in the way that he plays. I think we'll smash them, to be honest. I think we'll just go gung-ho, no respect, 4-0. It's done.
One last hurrah for Divock Origi.
Everton, Liverpool, we want to know what you think the score's going to be. Louis, Jota deserves a full match in this, doesn't he? He's been on fire all season, and when Diaz has come in, he's kind of been put back on the bench a little bit. Do you want to see Jota get a full game and just get some more goals, with big games coming up and just get that ruthless 90 minutes in his legs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure whoever's on tomorrow will talk about it a lot in the preview. But yeah, the front three, especially, I think will be an interesting selection on Sunday. I'd love to see Jota start. I would also like to see Firmino get as much of a full game as possible. And then I think I'd like to see Salah play again as well, scoring off the 2 goals in and getting an assist in the Man United game. We hope it's reignited the fire a little bit. We hope it's got his mojo back. But I think we just need to... He can play every game between now and the end of the season. Like we've seen enough of that. I think we need to keep him with that rhythm, keep him in the starting 11 for at least 60 minutes or so, and just hope that this isn't a false dawn. And hopefully he can bag another 1 or 2 against Everton, and then we really know that he's back in business for the final stretch of the season.
Makes sense. And Damon, one of the things that I've enjoyed in the last 2 games of Liverpool is we've gone after them in the first half. We've ripped teams apart in the first half, and that was when we were at our absolute best. We just destroyed people in the first 20 minutes, and they couldn't live with us. We got the goals, we broke their spirit, and then we just passed it around, got a couple of goals in the second half, and cruised it off. It looks like Liverpool are starting to do this again at the most critical time of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the Championship winning season and the season before with the Brendan Rodgers one where we just missed out. When we scored all the... I know I don't want to talk about that, but we scored all the goals in the first half and we just blew teams away in the first half. I mean, that's the way to do it. I think if we get a goal in the first 20 minutes against Everton, it could be a long day for them. And I think we could, like Kris said, he said 4, I think 5. One thing I am hoping for, though, I hope I see Rafa Benitez in the home side. In that cop end, that'd be so funny. That'd be brilliant.
I firmly believe, we've said it on previous Premier League rooms, if Rafa was still at Everton, they wouldn't be where they are now.
I don't know. I think the whole culture of the club is, again, it's a bit like United, is so poisonous.
You've got a Championship manager because that's all he's good at, trying to keep one of the best, one of the most established Premier League teams in the league. And you've got a proven Champions League winning manager that you let go who tactically could do things.
However, the whole club didn't welcome him in for good reason. So if David Moyes got appointed Liverpool manager, I don't think he'd get the most responded reply. And Rafa came into Everton, having been disrespectful to them in the past. He called him a small club at the end of the day. He doesn't like Everton, and they had full right to not be happy. And I think that was it was finished before he even began.
Yeah.
Went for them, to be honest. It made no sense that he went there. It must have been desperate for a job because I'd rather manage in League 2. I mean, he might as well have gone down there.
But if someone offered you a job and you just had to walk out your front door, which is all because he lives in Liverpool, might as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's just throwing money at things. But if they go down, financially they're going to be penalised badly. There's a potential for minus 10 points before they even start. They could be in a really bad way.
I still think they'll come up, even with the minus 10 points.
Probably.
They've got enough talent there and enough money.
How many people would jump ship? Because it's a lot different to a Norwich going down where they'll keep most of those players. But Everton, they were never expected to bloody go down at the start of this season. How many players do you think would jump ship?
Who's Calvert-Lewin been linked with?
Arsenal,
yeah.
But if they're getting Jesus, then I don't even rate Calvert-Lewin that highly, man. He had one good season. He was a flash in the pan.
Dresses well, though.
It's just Carolyn.
What was that, Damon?
It's another Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
I'd like to say Andy Carroll's a more talented footballer.
With his feet, he is, yeah, definitely.
Do you know what? Since we moved on to random players, I'm going to call it there. This has been LFC Transfer Room, Premier League Room, where we've previewed the games coming up. We're going to finish on Andy Carroll's season was better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin's best season.
It's true.
Nothing significant we expect to happen in the Premier League race this weekend because Man City are going to beat Watford. Maybe Everton finishing in the relegation zone, but Liverpool should beat Everton, and nobody else really has anything to play for apart from Arsenal and Spurs trying to get that top 4. And Arsenal have got Man U, so that'll be easy. Spurs have got a slightly trickier game, but we'll catch you next week when we preview the next set of games. Hopefully City slip up, but we'll catch you in the next one.